My name is Federici. I'm from Central New Jersey originally. I went to public school for 4 years at Cold Snake High School, again in Monmouth County, Central New Jersey. And then I actually did a postgraduate year at the Lawrenceville School, which is by Princeton. And then after that, I played at Franklin and Marshall for 4 years. And then I played my first year professionally in Italy, and that was it was in the Limatiche region, which is kind of like all the way in the center, like all the way east, right on the coast. Like at some point, it's just, you know, what do you want? Because obviously you see like on Ball is Life, House of Highlights, like the top 1%, the recruiting process is almost glorified in the sense that there'll be, you know, in-house coaching visits with Coach K and Coach Calipari and these things. They'll have like loads of letters and like they'll place the offer with the edit behind it. So like a lot of kids want to get involved in that, and it gets kind of glorified in a way. But, you know, D2 and especially at the D3 level, you're the one. You know, I mean, I was emailing a bunch of coaches my basketball resume, my highlights, and stuff like that. So, I mean, you gotta put yourself out there, and you can, you know, go to as many camps as you want. But in the end, it's, you know, where's your highlights? Here's your statistics. What do you bring to the table? Are you a good kid? Are you a good student? So for us, I guess, you know, it's more you putting yourself out there. Now I'm going in my head, you know, with you know, are the D1s actually possibilities? But again, if they are possibilities, then do I want to, you know, sit for 3 years and then maybe play my senior year and just say I went to Princeton or Dartmouth, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, make an impact on the league and the school, you know, for 4 years and, you know, kind of enjoy my time a lot more. So again, I mean, it's just a matter of whether it's what you want. You know, if you're, you know, okay, just saying, you know, hey, I went to Brown and, you know, I played my senior year some, if any, but, you know, I got a Brown education and I used basketball to get in, and some people like that and that's fine, but I don't think I was one of those that could just handle sitting on the bench for 3 years until I developed or other players getting recruited under me. Only a handful of kids D3 ended up going pro, so, you know, you don't have a lot to work with in terms of, you know, seeing how kids did things. So I actually reached out to like a couple guys that I knew who went pro, like Ted Hinnenkamp from Dickinson and like John DeBartolomeo from Rochester, who plays, you know, in Israel now. And just, you know, I literally said, so hey, I'm looking to do this. How'd you get an agent? What's the recruiting process like? How do you put yourself out there? What do you need to do? And they gave me a little, you know, a little list. It's like, make a highlight tape. It should be this long. You should have these kind of stats, you know, ready to go. But again, you know, the whole agent thing, it's, especially for a first-year player, they're like the Europeans, if it's not D1, they don't know what level you're at, because in Europe it's like a bunch, like at least 6 or 7 levels in each country, and America it's pretty clearly defined, 1, 2, 3, and they know 1 is the best, and so they usually go for 1. So again, it was kind of like the whole D3 thing with, you know, going from high school to D3, doing it yourself. It was that much effort again to get to the pro level, because, you know, they're taking a risk on D3, even though, you know, like me and you know, there's some pretty damn good players who play D3. I reached out to Tim Howell, I played in the D3 All-Star game with, actually, so another D3 connection. And he kind of gave me, so because he did one of these programs where he reached out to, you know, I guess it was an educational agent or something, but they're partnered with like 6 to 8 of those schools in England, and, you know, I guess maybe in the Scotland or Ireland area in the United Kingdom. And basically, you know, you give them your highlights, your grades, this, that, whatever, and they kind of they go over and they say, you know, I think you'd be a good fit for this school, this program, whatever. And so they saw the grades and everything. And I mean, Newcastle, so it's like a Russell Group school, what they call it. So it's kind of like their version of the Ivy League. So it's like the best 20 schools in the United Kingdom. So, you know, it's, again, it's, you know, another place where basketball is taking me that I may or may not have gotten into by myself. But now with basketball, it makes things a lot easier. But basically, I reached out to him with his experience. He went to, I can't remember the name of the school. It was another one in the United Kingdom, and he said his experience was fantastic. So I spoke to this agent for a while, and basically while I was doing that, I also just kind of looked up a lot of, you know, who the coach was, his email, you know, where they are now, the coaches. So again, a lot of work on my part, but I wanted to make it happen. And so I actually, as a senior at F&M, I got an email from an alumni we had from doing an interview. So I did an interview one time for a local newspaper, and an alumni, Chris Finch, who's now, he was a really good player at F&M. he is now the assistant coach of the Pelicans. And so he played and coached in England for a bunch of years. So he had these connections, and he emailed like this reporter who he then emailed me. He was like, this guy's looking, he's looking for players who could, also get their masters. So I kind of just remember that and kept that in the back of my mind. And then 2 to 3 years later, I remembered that, and I kind of dug through my emails, and I saw this guy's name, and so I looked at the school, the name, whatever, and it ended up being Newcastle. Then it was, using basketball, because I knew, I wanted to travel after school. I didn't want to get a job right away. So now I'm using basketball because, to basically fulfill my dreams, because having, gone to Italy a bunch of times and studying the language and the culture, I knew I wanted to spend some time there, especially with my ancestors being from there. And then, eventually getting the citizenship through that whole process. So the team, how pro works is the team, they pay for everything. They'll pay for your flight there and back. They'll pay for your rent, whatever apartment you're living in, your utilities, like a lot of your food. Sometimes they'll give you, stipends just for whatever, your phone bill. It's like literally everything. So the only thing you're spending money is when you travel on your own or you're going out, and that's kind of it. So they're paying for you essentially to be abroad and to play basketball a couple of days a week, which is, kind of the dream. So I knew that's what I wanted to do, and I kind of used basketball to get there.